It's a story I made up called Story of Old Buster Lee. In a smoky room, a cab driver enters looking for Buster Lee. He's running up quite a tab and hasn't yet set down the yellow machine. No one's heard or seen Buster Lee for a while. He must have nodded out on stones and sage. The driver says he'll wait 5 more minutes outside for poor old Buster Lee. Buster Lee pours out of a smokier room with a bent cigarette and peppermint eyeballs. Poor old Buster Lee hasn't got a dime or a nickel for a ride, but he'll get home just fine. Planted in shackles on Montclair Avenue, Nancy Lee waits in bed for good old Buster. In a smoky cab, Buster Lee lights his bent cigarette and tells the driver, "You'll never guess what happened to me." "I bet I won't," said the cabbie. "I fell asleep while some teenager went down on me. Ain't that hard luck?" "Well, I'll say, she had neither. But where are we going now?" Puffs of air, but more puffs of smoke. Buster Lee gets a crotchet full of ash in his lap, and the cab went over a matchbook. The sparks left the street, and it looked like someone dropped a transformer in a little room swimming pool, while no one was awake to see it. Humboldt, in between drags, somewhere near Nassau where that Indian girl lives. "Gotcha. Buster, are you high tonight?" "I'm always high. High on play." "Well, I mean, are you back on dope?" "Who's asking?" "I am." "You got your gears wired too sensitive, Charlie. Watch the road." "Hey, Nancy's on to you." "Yeah, I bet." "Yeah, just watch yourself." Yeah. "Hey, I mean it. She's a great girl. She doesn't deserve your brand of shit." $15 on tab. "All right, Charlie, drive safe." "Yeah." On a smoky street, Buster disappeared into the smog. Where he went for 20 minutes, no one knows, but he came back even higher, with his prick hanging out of his fly. Cigarette clenched between his teeth. He zipped it up and caught some head. The filter snapped between his teeth and into the back of his throat. Poor old Buster Lee, bleeding on his pants. He made it home, and close to one piece. Yellow cab parked out front. "Charlie, I'm going to bed," he said. The driver's seat was empty. He climbs the stairs with one leg, 2 arms outstretched. "Nancy, I've got a smoke for you, Sabine, so good," he joked, and lit it for himself. In a smoky staircase Buster Lee climbed. He climbed the stairs that never seemed to end. Right leg, left leg, left leg, left leg, rest. The sound of someone coming down the stairs. Unrest. Shadows of a smoky room. Shadows in the mind making room for nightmares. Back onto your feet, both of them. Fine. "Buster, you just getting home?" "Male or female?" "You can't make it out." "Keep quiet. Tuck your shirt in. Tuck in that lip. Tuck that bloody prick between your legs and say goodbye." It's just Charlie. "Buster, are you alright?" "Help me get up there." "Up where?" "Up to Nancy. I want to thank her for being so good." Well, see, that's the thing, Buster. You haven't been around for a few weeks. Nancy, well, she's dead. There was a suicide. There was a funeral and everything. She was cremated. I'm sorry. She seemed to have left you a note upstairs, though. I think you ought to read it. Buster yanked himself up to the floor, and then to his door with some unrelenting plight. He bumped into the cracked door and yelled out her name. There, on the kitchen table, was a pile of dust and a piece of paper. It read, "Buster, you don't know right from wrong. I can't keep on wishing one day you'll figure it all out. I love you all the same, but I'm not made of stone. Take this soot and inject it. If I couldn't have you over heroin, maybe I can fight it out in your veins. The first one to your heart wins. Love, Nancy." Buster froze. Then he shuddered his tears. Then he reached for the spoon. His fingers were more nervous than he, because he cooked it up so wrong his fingers boiled first. Nancy and dope, one place, one spoon, one destination. He could almost cry, but instead he straps up, spikes his vein, and injects Charlie's recipe of potassium cyanide and cigarette ash right into the next day and tomorrow's never-ending night. An overture of thuds jittery throughout the complex, sending a universal awakening at 6:18 a.m. for everyone else to get up and find their way to work, eventually. Yeah, when I first started writing, I really didn't know much about writing, and I kind of just did my own thing. I mean, I read, but I kind of just went on my own limb. And I had this style where I just wouldn't use punctuation, and sentences would just bleed into the next sentence. And if this sounds weird, that's what it is, or it sounds like it's kind of confusing. This doesn't have a name. It's abbreviated. It doesn't spell anything, and I can't pronounce it anymore. So, the teal gashes in subway cars, alone dressed for nighttime rendezvous, packing in the bone dry and sagging cantaloupe lips, fetching taxicab one-night stands on a brick, loose to hold a princess healed and drunk with kindergarten love. She's got eyes like a Buick and buns like a hot dog sweating off in front of busted hydrant, slow to melt the permafrost off my pen. Shaking, dangling a hair, tickles his nose like a chew one past 32 pigeons make love above a car accident. Last calls are made and some not answered like the silent horns of blasting hearts and spades is now playing on Broadway. There's telegram cactus growing in your hair, ma'am. Could I bum the smoke pours out the sewers and into the orchestra pit? A cherry gets poked for blood. I have to find a new hobby. She has to find a new hubby. All in a day's work, except I haven't written a thing, just crossed my path in high heels and a sports cup. A whiskey puts hair in your thoughts. And I'm feeling saucy, or what is the time? I must get back before midnight or I'll turn into a hypocrite. Please, does anyone have a flame for me to throw myself into? The next train isn't until 6:15. And no one in the city is in love with me except the woman on the coach billboard. I sit typing on brain lesions and the polka band is playing Polonaise in A-flat minor. There's a man selling pennies for a thought, and I could probably make a buck with this racket. If ignorance is bliss, then I'm being swallowed by misery. I don't mean to be so negative temperatures in my hand, shaking them off from, you must know this by now, let's pretend, let's pretend, let's pretend. Please let's pretend that I didn't steal your eyes from a geode and sang an encore in hell for the chance to sit, write, bleed, and sweat over 4 of them that have clogged my arteries. Woo! This is the last thing I'm going to read. I found this in a notebook, and I don't even remember writing it. I hope I did write it. But, I remember when around the time I wrote this, but I like it. Yeah, so let me just read. Hey, you sitting in the rocking chair, do you have time for a story? A story I've been meaning to tell someone about how no one wants an addict for a boyfriend. Nope, they want someone all to themselves, not someone who keeps to themselves. They say, look, that boy's got addict stains all over his blue jeans and tears in his brain. He jumps out of bed, the one with the naked girl in it, just to plug up his vein. And his pain doesn't go away from drugs. Drugs make him go away. I once had it all, but I traded it for a bag of smack, and then I got it all back in my head. Where everything exists in a better form, soaked in chloroform, can't breathe in your perfume, because my nose is stuffed with blow. But I'll be sure to fall in love with how it might smell. I waited until she got a man, then I dreamt about her breast in my hands. He didn't have to know, hell, neither did she. Just me and those breasts, me and those breasts. One night I got whiskey drunk and fucked my hand for 3 hours thinking about those breasts and what her perfume might smell like. She would take me out for drinks because she knew I'd like that, and I wouldn't say a word, just get drunk and listen to her talk about 3 vices and Europe and a book I've never heard of. We ate ice cream one night in the middle of the street, and I prayed for a car to make her sit alone because that's actually what she was doing. Sitting alone with dog hair on her purse and small cuts on the tops of her feet. There was one time I nearly grabbed her and kissed her, but I was too drunk to even tell her where she was. I stole a cup of wine and drove home to imagine the way her perfume might have smelled. She stole my spine and never gave it back, because I've got this coat hanger holding my shoulders erect. Nobody wants an addict for a boyfriend, because I'd rather be alone than inside you. Sometimes I don't want to be anywhere near you, other times I want to live in bed with you. I want you to play dress up with my mind, make me do things I'd never dream, because I can close my eyes around you and not worry about tipping over. I forgot how to think without a drink. I've got mixed-matched goals in my poisoned brainstem. I'm scared to leave my room most nights, that is why I cannot take you out tonight, and I spent my last earnings on narcotics and whiskey. I'm sorry, but I cannot share. If you so dare, come take a chance with me, and if you walk out like all the others, at least I can obsess over how you